Hey guys, so last night I went and saw Darkest Hour finally. It finally hit my theater this past weekend. Um, I would have done my review for this last night if I hadn't had pretty much right after I got out of the theater from seeing Darkest Hour. I had car issues. My car basically broke down, uh, and I've spent pretty much all night last night and pretty much all day today dealing with that. Luckily, my car is fixed. It was just a simple computer problem. But this was a movie, I was generally looking forward to. Mainly because, I mean, even before the nomination, or, it getting all the nominations it's been getting, as soon as I heard this idea that there was a movie about Winston Churchill being made. I'm like, cool. Always a bit, am I like a kind of like, always been fascinated by World War II and all the events that happened during World War II. And, I'm not a big, historian to know a lot about Winston Churchill, but I always found him to be an interesting figure in, British history. And then I heard he's being played by Gary Oldman. I'm like, hell yeah, fuck yeah, one of my favorite actors alive. Easily one of my favorite actors alive today as Gary Oldman. And yeah, I was sold by the trailers pretty much right off the fucking bat. I thought it looked interesting. Didn't look like too boring for a movie, a biopic about a British one of the most famous British political figures of our time, of all time, really. I was like, this it looks pretty good. Like I said, it's got a hell of a cast, and it's got a pretty good director behind it. And I'm like, this looks like it should be good. And yeah, it's good. It's very, very good. I wouldn't put this on my top 10 list of the best films of the year, because there were a lot better. But there's mainly one thing that carries this movie, and one thing pretty much that just carries it from being a average movie to a pretty good damn movie, and that is Gary Oldman. Yeah, if I were to go, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I said this when I first saw the previews for this movie. I'm gonna say it now. He's gotta be pretty much the front runner to win Best Actor this year. Yeah, I have no fucking problem with that. Part of me wants James Franco to get it, even though I haven't seen Disaster Artist. I do want to see James Franco get it, just for the fact that maybe we'll get Tommy Wiseau on fucking the Oscar stage, which would be fucking hilarious. But and I also love James Franco as an actor, just generally love him as an actor, and I would love to see him get an Oscar finally. But this is a fucking Oscar, just like Leonardo DiCaprio. Everybody bitched about how Leonardo DiCaprio, took him so long to get an Oscar. The fact that it's taken this long for Gary Oldman to even be fucking considered, this is only his second nomination. If he gets nominated, it would be only his second nomination for Best Actor. Think about that for a fucking second. Easily one of the best actors alive today, Gary Oldman, and he's only been nominated once. And if he gets nominated with this, which I'm sure he will, he gets nominated twice for the second time only in his career. And this is a goddamn great performance. It's not just because he's playing a historical figure. Usually Oscars, lean more towards like giving awards or acting awards for actors who play historical figures, which is great and all. But this is a damn good performance, and is like the fact that you barely recognize fucking Gary Oldman because of how he transforms himself physically, vocally, he transforms himself to the point you barely fucking realize it's. If I wouldn't have been told this was Gary Oldman, although you hear bits of his voice here and there, it's like he transforms himself so fucking well, and it's goddamn scary. Like the makeup, everything, the voice, he's really goddamn good in this movie. His mannerisms, everything is down pat. He's really good in this fucking movie. And, like, he's also generally really funny. Like, he shows the genuine side of Winston Churchill. It doesn't just show him, being this big political figure, which it does show, but it also shows, like, the humanity of him and who he was as a person, as a husband, and as a father, and also his relationships with like his secretary, played by Lily James, which has a little bit of focus in this movie. Lily James was good in this movie too, by the way. Yeah, she was very good. Very pretty actress, but she is good in this movie. She has one of my favorite parts of this whole movie that involves Winston Churchill, where I don't know if somebody in the comments can tell me. I'm not a big historian on Winston Churchill, but did he really take a picture where he just did a V like this instead of this? Because they explain, like, after he takes this picture and it's showed in front paper, it's pretty much put on the front paper of him doing a V like this. The girls that works for him basically were laughing about it, and he's like, "What's so fucking funny?" And they explain that when you make a V like this, that means victory, but if you reverse it like this, that means up the bum. That was pretty fucking funny. I was like, "Is that?" I have to look it up, but it's like, is that a real picture? I'm sure it is. For historical purposes, they wouldn't just make a picture up like that. I'm sure. But yeah, I was like, that was kind of funny. But yeah, like he's really goddamn charismatic, really likable. Shows how he's a very stubborn person. Like, he has his own ideals, and he will not, betray his own ideals. Even though even though it gets to a point where he starts to question whether or not he should just surrender to Hitler and our peace talks with Hitler, even though that would pretty much go against everything he believes in. He reasonably comes to a point where he actually starts thinking that idea. This movie basically, it doesn't like follow his whole career or his whole life. It just mainly focuses on, like, I think the first few months of his job as prime minister, and that's it. Like, from the time he gets put in the office to like a couple months, like pretty much while the events of Dunkirk are happening, and his reaction to it, and how he was handling it, and how he was handling the coming invasion of Nazi Germany, and he was getting, a lot of opposition on his ideas that he wanted to, wage war with Nazi Germany and not give up. While a lot of people on both sides of the parties that he was involved on, people in his party and people in the opposite party were wanting to basically surrender and have peace talks with Hitler and take the easy way out, but he didn't want to do it. Like I said, I don't know whether that's 100% true or not. But like it was pretty interesting. It was also nice seeing Kristen Scott Thomas in something. I haven't seen her. She plays Winston Churchill's wife. I was like, holy shit! What Kristen Scott Thomas is in this movie? It's nice to see her in a movie. This movie's really fucking well made. Like, it's really well shot. There's a lot of like single take shots in this movie, which was really nice. Joe Wright's a pretty goddamn good director. and it shows in this movie especially. Like I said, this is a movie, it's really not much to talk about other than fucking Gary Oldman's performances. It's just so goddamn good. It carries the fucking thing. There's one thing I do got a question, and one moment I thought was kind of fucking cheesy, I do want to mention. Somebody in the comments could tell me whether this actually happened or not. I have a high doubt that this happened this way. There's a scene towards the end of the movie where Gary Oldman's trying to figure out what he's going to do. Whether he is going to start peace talks with Hitler or continue to fight against Hitler. And he's on his way to Westminster Abbey. And he decides to take the Underground, which, if you don't know what the Underground is, it's the subway. What the subway is to America. And he says at the beginning of during the beginning of the movie, he'd never taken the subway or a train or anything like that, or or a bus or anything like that. And he decides for some reason just to randomly go on one. And of course, everybody starts like, "Oh my God, there's the fucking prime minister," like any person would. And he decides. It shows him being a very friendly person to the public and talking to the public like a normal person would, but he even starts asking them their input on what he should do. And according to this movie, you're supposed to believe that through this talks, he finally makes his decision on continuing to wage a war against Nazi Germany. Spoiler alert, I'm not sure if I'm sure I might be spoiling this for you. I was like, I mean, it's fucking World War II. I mean, what else is there? How would I be fucking spoiling it? But, I mean, anyways. But he ends up talking to these people, and it seems like that was the reason, like, this movie's trying to claim that was the reason why he made his decision. And I was like, I'm pretty certain that was probably fucking made up for that movie. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I'm not a historian, Winston Churchill's historian, but I guarantee you that was made up. Like, even like a little girl, like, give him hell or something like that, or give Hitler hell, or don't surrender to Hitler or something like that. And I was like, I guarantee you that did not happen that way. If it even happened at all. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I could always be wrong, but I don't know. What else? But yeah, I do recommend the movie. I recommend people check it out. Definitely for Gary Oldman's performance. This is definitely like I'm all for him getting like I'm like one of those people that do get annoyed when like pretty much the Oscars all they ever give acting awards to are people that play historical figures or somebody with an illness or somebody with a disorder or something like that. But or a famous person with a disorder or an illness. But when it's done right, like this is obviously an Oscar bait movie if you've ever seen one. But if a performance is done right and really goddamn good, I ain't gonna object to it. So give the goddamn guy an Oscar. I'm all for it. James Franco, people like James Franco will get his Oscar, maybe one day here shortly. Gary Oldman deserves one before he fucking croaks. Jesus, how old is he? Like, he's gotta be about 60 or 70. I don't know. I might have to, I got to look, but yeah, like, give the guy a fucking Oscar. He's one of the best actors out there. I didn't get any new trailers, so I did see one other movie. I might not be able to do that until tomorrow morning. The review for that till tomorrow morning. And until then, I'll talk to you guys later.